Hey YouTube, Hester781. So, a buddy of mine gave me this. He found it on the side of the road. Toro, 6.5 horse recycler. It's got the personal pace and key start. But it's missing the battery box and all the accoutrement. But the wires are still here, and I actually happen to have a battery for one that I never ended up using. And I actually have a battery box in the scrapyard. So if this thing ends up being viable, I see a shiny spark plug. If this ends up being viable, I might just try to put it back to key start. So let's get going. See what it takes to get it to kick, if it'll kick again. So, haven't touched a single thing yet. Haven't even pulled the engine over. So, it could be frozen. But, gas tank is bone dry. It's got the, this is a Tecumseh? Yes. I'm pretty sure this is a Tecumseh. Somebody will correct me very quickly if I'm wrong. Any oil? Yeah, it's on there. It's low, but looks clean-ish. I mean, it moves. We're not holding down the brake, but I am only one person with one set of hands. So, let me get you to stand. I got my dead man up on the clamp. I don't know why this isn't in its holder. This doesn't move that free, in my opinion. But at least we'll put it back where it goes. What's next? Want to see if we got spark? Actually, before I check for spark, I want to get this. See why this isn't spinning fast enough for me. Because if I can't get this thing to spin fast, spark can only do so much. So I'm wondering if I'm not pulling the brake all the way off, is my suspicion at this point. Because that cable is a little crunchy. No better time than right now to just pop this shroud off. That way we'll see if there's any mouse house, which we would have to check anyhow. Of course the back ones are bigger. Another way I could have gone about this is just pull the spark plug out, and that probably would have told me if it was a compression related problem or engine brake related issue. But either way, I wanted to get this cover off because critters. So, what do we think? A lot of crud, but no mice, no mices. So, that's good. Oh, it actually feels a lot better now. I wonder what... I wonder if that had anything to do with it. Let me show you. Look at there. That's a factory bolt. That's a factory bolt. That is just a random Phillips head. Someone's been in here, and I think that's hitting. Either that or I'm just sparking up the complete wrong tree. But I don't know. I'm still going to shorten it. So yeah, let me trim a little bit off that and I'll turn you back on. Well, I think shortening that screw was the right move because it feels a lot nicer. That wasn't even tight. And yep, this has got the, let's throw a new plug in it and see if it works. Special, straight off the AutoZone shelf. I don't even know if that's ever run. So let's see if we got sparkage. And I suppose at the same time, let's try the starter. I'm just getting greedy now. Trying everything at once. Yeah. Place your bets. Anything? I got the dead man switch down, so it should. Nothing. Come on. Let's check the fuse. Well, that'll do it. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Dang it. That's going to be interesting getting that out. Stand by. Well, I got it extracted, but 30 amp is the highest I have on hand. So we're going to hope that this thing doesn't exceed 30 amps if it tries to work now. Why is that not going in all the way? There we go. All right. Take two. Watch my battery's junk. It's been sitting around for a while, but I keep it on the tender. Hey! We got something. Starter is now turning, but it's frozen. This is quickly snowballing from a simple side of the road mower. I mean, whoever had this, probably the electric start stopped working and they just gave up on it, which, you know, most of these people do. It's a luxury. This may be one of those times you're not supposed to put WD-40 in, but I'm gonna try it anyway. It's starting to work up. I'm just sort of holding the shaft and now it's working its way down. I'm hoping it's centrifugal, so let's try that. There you go. All right. Well, of course it was out of frame, but we have spark. And now we have an electric starter. So, what's next? Pop the air filter off. I'm just dribbling some pre-mixed fuel into the throat. And, well, let's see. Anticlimactic. Come on. A little bit of encouragement. It wants to so bad. Come on. Don't be shy now. Come on. It's like it gets right there. All right, out of curiosity, I pulled that janky plug out and it was soaked. So I'm just swapping in a champion, a known good plug. And let's see if that makes the difference here. just gets there and just can't get over the hump. That compression doesn't feel the best. Yeah, this might be a short video. The compression just like, all of a sudden now it's not there. So, let's do what we probably should have done in the first place. Yep, it's a wet plug. Check the compression out. Survey says pitiful. We got 30 whole pounds. All right, let's pop the head off. Well, they can't all be carb cleans, right? That was actually already loose, but I doubt someone's been in here. So it tried. I'm suspecting a stuck valve, possibly. That's... no. Maybe the valves are too tight. It looks like that exhaust valve is sitting kind of wanky. Trying to see if I can no. Oh, that's a decent amount of play right there. Don't know if you guys can hear that. She may be cooked. Try it a little lower. Well, that would be unfortunate. So, why don't we try slap the head back on, hook up my Leakdown tester, and that'll confirm for us. If it is the rings, we'll hear it coming out the dipstick tube. Let's do that. Can't remember if I've used a Leakdown tester with you guys yet. So there's a million videos on what they are and what they do. Basically, you're just filling the cylinder with shop air, trying to get the glare off you. And you're seeing how fast it leaks out. So in other words, you're gonna turn it up to like, 20, 30, 40 PSI. You wanna see it in the green range, and moderate is it's on its way out, and obviously high is kaput. But it's where it's leaking out that can make or break the motor. So if it's the intake or the exhaust, it could just need a valve adjustment or valve lapping. But if it's the rings, I have some bad news for you. So I'm just gonna get this roughly set to top dead center. Right about there. She moved. How about that? I don't know if you guys can hear that, but here's what we are at. And that's all coming right out of the exhaust valve. Nothing out the intake. Nothing out the dipstick. I mean, wow, that's a lot. So, I guess it's good news because it's not the rings. Bad news. Do I really want to get into doing the valves on this thing? Well, guys, I think that's gonna be it on this one. I mean, nobody in their right mind would get into doing valve job on this cookie cutter Toro recycler with a janky motor. I mean, only an idiot would go any further than this. So basically we have to get the exhaust out of the way so that we can get the intake off to get to the valve cover that's behind the intake. So 2. Three eighths. And then this should just kind of, hiya. There we go. I believe the next 2 are 5/16. Those were really not tight. Anyway, we're gonna have some drippage. So I was actually suspecting the exhaust valve since the beginning. It just didn't look like it was fully seating. And now, of course, you know, hindsight's 20/20, but let's get a look inside. So basically, up top's your exhaust, down here's your intake. I don't even know what the specifications are, but I can't physically see. Oh, wait a minute. There is a little bit of a gap, but that is so tight. This is 2 thousandths. So let me try 5 thou. And we actually have clearance. So is the valve bent? Do you guys see that? Look right at the tip. When I start turning, it bends. It sort of kicks upwards. Let me get this valve out and spring out, and I think we'll answer some questions. These come out a number of different ways. This is the valve spring removal tool. So I can't remember if these are the style that have a pin that goes through them, or there's another style where they just kind of push down and sneak up. But I don't even know if you guys are looking. Barely enough room for the tool in there, let alone you guys, so let's see what we can do. Yeah, I can't see. Turn you on in a second. So I got that out, and what's interesting is you can see that's the whole surface that's not seating. So I'm wondering if this is bent slightly and I can't see it, or if this just needs to be lapped in. So let me hit this with the wire brush and we'll chalk it up with the drill press. So I got that chalked up, and let's see how she spins. That's straight as an arrow. So could just be a valve job. Interesting. I mean, here's a washed out look of the seat. It's almost like there's a chunk of carbon stuck up top. I don't know. I mean, again, who knows how long this thing's been sitting. But, yeah, let me just clean that up too. And we'll lap the valve in. You know what's interesting is, as I'm looking at this, can you guys see what I'm seeing? Somebody has done this before. That's not a factory grind. There's still a lip on it, and you can see it's kind of not straight. So the questions, we're getting more questions than answers. By the way, this is that style, by the way. You put the stem through the outer hole and then lock it in on the inner hole. I suppose I should do the intake at the same time, but I still don't know why this one failed. I don't know. Moving on. All right, so where are we at? Well, I cleaned up the seats and the face of the piston and the valves. Intake was straight as well. I mean, that wasn't a problem. And worth noting, the intake valve had a nice clean mating surface all the way around it, where the exhaust, it's a little discolored. I can't feel anything with my thumbnail or even a pick, so I think it'll lap in perfectly fine. So that's next. So, valve lapping. There's 1,000,001 videos out there on how to do it. Get yourself some lapping compound, grab your valve, and just, you know, dab a little bit of it all around the seat. Not too much, but not too little. And then you sort of put her in place. Make sure the valve's in the closed position. And then you get yourself your lapping tool, little suction cup tool. They come in all different flavors and varieties. Hoping that mine goes small enough. It is worth noting that I might and you might have to grind some material off of your valve stem to get it to seat properly. And then you kind of get it to suck to it. Oh, I didn't clean it first. Hold on. Make sure it's free of all contaminants so you get a good suction. And then you just kind of work it back and forth. I'm sort of redistributing the lapping compound when I do the taps. And just push it with gentle pressure. You know, you're not trying to, you know, get lunch money out of the thing. You're just kind of trying to grind the two surfaces together till you get a nice even ring. So I'll do that a little more and I'll turn you back on in a second. And if you've done it right, you should get a nice, clean, shiny, even band all around your valve. And it's very important that you clean every bit of lapping compound off the valve and out of the hole, or else this is just going to continue to lap and wear down your valve seat until you're in trouble. So repeat the process on the intake. I'll turn you on in a second. All right, ready to throw them back in. And you know, I was making a joke earlier about this being pointless and you'd have to be crazy to want to put this kind of time and effort into one of these old engines, but it's my decision what's pointless and what's not. I've wasted more time trying hobbies than most people have spent starting new ones. And I am a firm believer that the older you get, the more things you'll realize are pointless than people think. So have fun, do what makes you happy. And I've successfully reinstalled these two valve springs with you guys watching. How's that, huh? All right, so it's the next day. Phone died, I had to regroup. I was exhausted. So Tecumseh wants 4 to 10 thousandths is the spec for each of the valves. And they are within spec. They're both just about 6 thousandths, so I'm not gonna fuss with it anymore. And I think what I'm gonna do is button this back up a little bit. We know we're done with the cover wise. Throw the intake back on, throw the exhaust. And that way if it runs, we can keep moving. If not, it's in one piece so I can chuck it out the door. All right, so I've just screwed the compression tester in there, and we'll see if what I did helped anything at all. It feels a little better. So I'm hoping for something around 60, 65, if we're lucky. What do we got? Oh, we're right above 60. And this is a little bit off in the upwards direction, so excellent. I'll take it. More importantly, that means this should fire. You good? Enough. Jesus. All right, lowered it down. Just gonna put some, dribble some fuel into the throat. Now this engine cover says guaranteed to start, so I'm expecting some high hopes here. Well, look at that. Guarantee's a guarantee. Well, that's great. We know it runs, and didn't hear any knocks or any weird noises, so it was just that exhaust valve letting us down. As far as the carb on this thing, this is perished. I mean, can you guys see the cracking in there? And a rebuild kit is like $15, but you know what else is $15? A carburetor with a filter. So I am not going to waste my time yet. I'll take that off, throw this on. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'll return it and rebuild it. Also going to take a peek underneath at the drive belt situation, because I did not see if the self-propel works. So let's look underneath first. Oh, it looks about as pleasant as I expected under here. All I need are these to come off. Wow. Everything come off. I won't look a gift horse in the mouth. Now, how does this cover come out? I think it's just a couple of 10 mils up on top to take that cover off. I believe it's just going to be that and that bolt, and then that'll drop down. But we'll find out together. One. There's two. Come on, give it up. You lost. It's over. Beat it. What's it stuck on? No way this whole thing has to come off, right? All right, time out. Nope, that was it. Just had to give it some squeezing persuasions. And I'm spinning the belt, and I'm getting both wheels to move. So that looks like it could be tighter, huh? That could be how it is. Is this just like a tensioner? Is this a clutch? What's going on here? Yeah, maybe that's why it's so hard to pull. Light dawns on Marblehead, huh? Well, let me see if I can free that up a little. All right, well, I feel sheepish. So, those of you who were laughing at me the whole time, you could have just said something. I had the, what I thought was a dead man switch up there. Turns out to be how you engage the blade. So, the whole time I'm struggling with pulling it over, I was trying to run the blade at the same time. Now, excuse me for thinking that all lawnmowers should just be simple. No, it's my fault. Go ahead, tear me apart. Live and learn. Just kind of cleaning up some of the crap here before I put an edge on on the blade. But, interesting. I know those existed. I just didn't think. But we know that we had bad compression regardless. It wasn't just pulling it fast enough or not. So let me clean some of this stuff up. Turn you on in a second. And now that we sharpened up the blade, you just slap it all back together. Blade's in decent shape too, not bent or anything. It's getting a little rusty, but get a couple more seasons out of it anyway, hopefully. So now that we got a good engine, at least we think it's a good engine, and I'm confident the drive will work. I mean, we saw the wheels move when I manipulated the belt, so I'm confident enough to move forward. And I probably have to take this all off again, huh? To get to this back bolt. Yeah, that'll be the easy way. All right, figure we'll just take the whole tank with it. Pop the breather off. And the linkages. We're in the outermost. Oh, that just kind of came right out. Where was that? Up there? Yeah, we'll find it. This is a hook, isn't it? Yeah. How do they want you to do this on the machine? Might as well just pop it out that way. All right. So I don't want this to come off as I'm rushing, because I know a lot of you guys like it when I rebuild the carbs and such, but I just know that this is getting to be a long video. So I'm trying to keep like the main focus to be on one thing, which was the engine, because according to algorithm, a lot of people don't like it when I start doing huge projects that are over an hour long. But let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. And we got that slapped on there. Couldn't be easier. Honestly, just take your time. It's a little tight, but if you do everything in the wrong order, eventually you'll get to, do it 3 times, and then you'll be an expert next time you do it. Which is what I tell myself every night before I go to bed. All right, I got the fuel tank, which was dry. I got that all blown out. Slap the exhaust back on, throw some fuel in her, see if she goes. Well, she's gassed up. Let's see if it works. Fire in the hole. Can't complain about that. And now the $1 million question. Will the electric start work? And we're at the boneyard. This is exactly what I'm needing. How's it held in? Just 2 screws. And we got that all buttoned down. I even gave her a little bit of a wipe down. My hose is still shut off for the year, and we're supposed to be getting 7 to 10 inches in the next couple days, so I'm not going to turn it back on just to hose off an old push mower, but not too bad. Cleans up nice. I thought I wasn't going to show you this side, did you? Just got to dump the oil out of it, put some fresh oil in her. Like I said, I have the bag, and it's not ripped or anything, but That'll wrap this one up, guys. I want to thank you all again for liking, watching, commenting, subscribing, and catch you on the next one. Bye. If you don't get it on video, it never happened.